Episode 37. Feeling Blue. Joginder came out of the restaurant and walked towards his car. It was almost 7 p.m. and he knew he must hurry home. As expected, his meeting with Sujata had ended up in disappointment and tears. Colleagues in the same bank, they always had each other's backs. They looked for opportunities to go out to cafes, bars or restaurants to have a drink and chat up. Usually these meetings ended up with the two holding hands and becoming teary-eyed. Their time preferences, however, always clashed, with Joginder wanting to meet up during the office hours and Sujata preferring the hours after 6 p.m. But today, Sujata had an important presentation, so they met only after 6 p.m. Joginder, Jyotsna hai na 8 baje tak. So why do you fret so much? Joginder agreed. He did fret too much. But he knew that little Jugni, all of 6, had learned from her elder brother Amrinder, who was 9, when the living room wall clock hands hung together in almost the same spot. It was 6:30 p.m. and time for Papa to come home. Ever since Gurpreet had died in a tragic bus accident 3 years back, Jugni had been the most confused and incapable of understanding what was happening. And why wasn't anyone taking her to her mama? On the 3rd day of missing Mama, when Jugni just wouldn't stop crying, Sujata along with BG took her for a drive and got her an ice cream. But the crying just didn't stop. Finally, when the little one got totally exhausted, she slumped onto BG's lap and slept off. In her 3 years in this world, Jugni had just known her mom, Dad and Bhaiya and BG, who came over and stayed once in a while. Strangely, ever since Mama had vanished, Dad, Bhaiya and BG would just keep on crying. So Jugni would cry all the more. It took Joginder 2 weeks to finally somehow calm down Jugni. But she now wanted Papa with her all the time, especially at night time. Joginder did not allow Gurpreet's photo to be hung anywhere in the house because he knew that Jugni would start crying for her. After a very difficult year, slowly Jugni stopped asking for Mama all the time. BG shifted with the family for many months, but then she had her own catering business to look after, so she had to leave. Joginder hired Jyotsna as the daycare maid. She took good care of the children. Joginder would call home almost every hour. Amrinder was more mature than his years and helped Joginder in caring for his little sister. Joginder had made it a routine that once he came home at 6:30 p.m., it would be playtime. Cycling, skating, video games or at the PlayStation. The 3 of them could be heard till at least 3 floors down, laughing and chasing and hiding and jumping. The bond that Joginder developed with his children in the last 3 years was more precious to him than all the wealth of the world. For 2 years after Gurpreet's demise, Joginder spent every waking minute thinking about the children, their needs, their clothes, books, homework, school teachers, friends, birthday parties and so on. He simply ignored the waves of loneliness that would hit him frequently and engulf him into an ocean of sorrow and memories. Joginder longed to discuss his job pressures, his limitless grief, to embrace someone in a big bear hug, to feel the presence of a warm body next to him in the night, to feel the touch of a hand on his shoulders, a reassuring smile, a pat on the back, and the pair of hands that quickly handed him a glass of single malt over ice when he was angry and depressed. But all of that was gone forever. Now, empty days and a silent night shrieked out at him. Bebe worried for him. She understood that he really needed a companion. She was rather hoping that Joginder and Sujata had become a very good friend over the years. Warm, loving and caring, Sujata had helped Joginder in many ways to cope up with office pressures as well as problems at home. The two of them came very close in the process. Sujata had in fact become his strongest support system. But Joginder often wondered, did the children also think that way about her? Joginder took the children and Sujata to a resort for the weekend. The children weren't very happy with Sujata around, but then they didn't complain. The first tiff between them happened when Sujata wanted some time only with Joginder. But they couldn't be together till the children, especially Jugni, had fallen asleep. Sujata was quite irritated at this. The four of them went trekking the next day. As the children ran ahead, Joginder and Sujata walked slowly, talking to each other. Sujata was visibly relaxed and happy to be spending time with Joginder. But after an hour, Jugni got tired and wanted to climb onto Joginder's shoulders. As the father and daughter happily moved forward, Sujata once again felt left out and her mood dipped. During lunch, the children didn't touch food because Sujata insisted on having the local misal pav. It was so hot and spicy that Joginder had to run to fetch an ice cream for Jugni. After that, none of them could eat anything properly. Amrinder was demanding a burger or noodles, but after the misal pav mishap, he just had some chips and ice cream. It was a silent party that drove back from the resort on Sunday night. As the months went by, Sujata insisted on Joginder telling his children about their marriage plans. She rightly pointed out to Joginder that once the children grow a little older, they will begin to live in a world of their own. Teenage children aren't fond of adults interfering in their lives. And once they will step into college, they will be independent. So Joginder should really begin to think of his life as well. It was a matter of just a few more years before the children would become independent and not want their dad around all the time. Joginder eased onto the familiar sofa and took a sip from his cup of tea. Bebe understood that all was not well, because otherwise Joginder would never visit her at 7:30 p.m. He would be home with his children. From his face, she really couldn't make out what it was. Finally, Joginder turned towards Bebe. Bebe, I know you want me to get married to Sujata. So do I. She's actually a very nice person. She has supported me in every possible manner. लेकिन बेबे somehow मेरा मन नहीं मान रहा है. I agree with Preetam and Shashi and all my friends that after a few years, when Amreen and Jugni will grow up, they won't need me. They will have their own life, their own friends, their own plans. Perhaps they might want to settle down somewhere abroad. Sujata tells me that I must think about the emptiness that will surround me then. I understand all of this, baby. I do. But Phoebe, baby, I really don't want the children to do the adjustment in their lives all over again. After Preeto left, all three of us were traumatized, and we had to make so many adjustments, learn new ways and new systems. I am grown up, baby. I could still convince myself to do it. But the children have been through hell. I don't want them to go through the same adjustment blues once again. बच्चों के मन बहुत कोमल होते हैं, baby. My marriage will make them feel rejected and unimportant. I don't want them to have this scar in their lives. The emptiness that they will experience when they see me with Sujata will be much more than what I will feel once they leave me and go ahead with their lives. Childhood memories play a very important role in our life, baby. They make us trust each other, develop a strong feeling that the family is always going to be there. And I don't want my children to grow up with a feeling that they had to share their lives with an outsider. Yes, I know with time they will accept Sujata, but it will rob them of the very precious moments that we would have shared otherwise. I can never forget Preeto. Life has been so tough without her. But I did not give up, baby. I have done everything in my power to bring up my children and be with them always. Now I don't want to entangle the threads of our relationships once again. We have become a unit, in fact, that struggles every day, but which also rejoices in each other's presence each evening. I don't know where is life going to take my children, but they will always find their father giving them the first preference and the utmost attention. I said a no to Sujata today, baby. I didn't want to be unfair to her either. As my partner, she should have my complete attention. But that in my case wouldn't become possible. It would have been a very compromised life for all of us. She's very upset. So am I. But I believe I have taken the right decision. And then Joginder broke down. As the sun finally disappeared from the horizon, the mother and son duo just stared out at the night sky, beginning to light up with thousands of stars.